Hello fellow YouTubers, thanks for dropping by. I'm glad you can make it. And welcome to this episode of, I don't know what it is, it's just an episode. I recently went on a trip to Ilkley Moor. Now, there's been a lot of moor fires in the early part of 2019. There's been some on Saddleworth Moor and Marsden Moor up in the Pennines. I think there's some fires were started around the 27th of February. And I think that was down to sort of really hot weather at the time. I think it was the hottest winter day on record on the 27th of February as far as I remember. I think it was something like that. Was it 21 degrees, 69 degrees, 69.4 degrees Fahrenheit, if I remember rightly. That was recorded in London, but it was a hot day. So, you know, these fires, I don't think they were started deliberately. I think maybe, you know, just accidental, perhaps some, you know, dry scrub land and maybe a broken bottle and some sunshine. That's all it takes, really. But I think there was a lot of land was damaged and scorched back then in February, and then there was somebody deliberately started some fires on Ilkley Moor, and that was around the sort of 21st of April. I think some arrests were made, and I think again on the 24th of April this year, I think there was some fires up at Oldham. Again, you know, kind of up on the moors, and I think some of these were, I think they were started accidentally, but I think some of the secondary fires were started deliberately as well. I mean, it boggles the mind why people would do this, but unfortunately, those people exist. But anyway, I found myself at Ilkley Moor just last week and went out with some friends and went for a stomp along the moor. And I experienced firsthand all the devastation that was caused by the fire that had been up on the moor there. And it's absolutely crazy. These was the ones on up at Ilkley were started deliberately, and I think there were 25,000 square meters were damaged of kind of the moorland, and it was bonkers to look at. I was up there with my wife and some friends and our little girls. On a family day out, and to witness sort of the devastation that had occurred, it's sad. It really is sad. It made me quite angry, I suppose. If you just imagine kind of sort of the habitat alone, yes, you know, devastating, but the animal life, sort of the biodiversity up there, and you know, and how it's all disrupted, and how many things must have lost their lives up there, how many animals must have, you know, been decimated in the fire. It beggars belief. It's just not nice to think about at all. So, like I say, we've had some wildfires in the moors locally, but as a photographer, I suppose you couldn't get anywhere near the fires. You weren't allowed near the fires, and rightly so. You know, the emergency services have a job to do, and it's an extremely dangerous thing to sort of rush after and photo. As much as we'd like, I think as a photographer, you kind of like, God, I want to get a shot of that. That'd be incredible. But you know, you have to consider safety, and you have to consider the emergency services, and they've got a job to do. So stay well out of their way, basically. So I didn't get involved with going to see the fires. I thought about it, but it's a silly thing to do. Anyway, but nonetheless, I found myself up on Ilkley Moor with my family recently, and it was mad, basically, to see nature taking over again, nature coming back with a vengeance. Actually, it's and this is what happens with nature. You know, you damage or destroy it. It doesn't take long to sort of take hold again and come back and regroup and find its way back to its former glory. And these photos, I took some photos there. I wanted to capture or make an image that basically was about hope, was about how you can't keep nature down. You can't really you know, you can damage it, you can give it a hard time, but you know, it'll find a way to come back and regroup. And I wanted to sort of make an image, I wanted to make a series of images that kind of illustrated that. And I opted for, there were these green shoots everywhere across the land, but I kind of opted for sort of singling out just one of them and juxtaposed it against this scorched land, this scorched background. That's kind of really what I wanted to do in the telling of this story about sort of rebirth, in a sense, and how nature was coming back, how nature will find its way back and regroup. So these are a series of images that I kind of really like, actually, taken up on Ilkley Moor. And it was great to be up there. I mean, we were out with the family, some friends, and we've got daughters, so our daughters were running around like what kids do, got a bit feral, climbing the rocks and just stomping across the land. It was a great day, and as ever, you know, I took the opportunity to take some imagery that I found quite fascinating. While we were there also, I took a shot of this waterfall. Now I was quite pleased with this shot, actually, because I did not have my tripod with me. I left my tripod in the car. I know I'd be out stomping and I didn't have kind of the right bag with me to sort of strap my tripod to, and I didn't really want to carry it around with me. And invariably when I make those decisions, I always kind of regret it, because I'll always find something where I need my tripod, and you know, it was way back in the car. It was too far to go back and fetch it. So there was a little bridge and this waterfall was underneath of it. I was able to clamber down onto the rocks, and I've got 70 to 200 zoom on, which is what I was using on the camera on the day. And I just rested it up on top of these rocks and sort of had to crouch down and kind of hold it steady against the rock in order to sort of take this shot. I wanted to get a bit of a long exposure just to make some movement in the water, just to get a bit of a long exposure of it to sort of get the shot that I wanted. So I'm quite happy with this because, like I say, didn't have a tripod and it's just rested upon a rock. And I could only just about get down and look in the viewfinder to see if I had actually got a decent composition. If I'd have had time and my tripod, I probably would have done a bit more with this. I may have even, if I had other kit with me, I may have even put my wide angle on and got some different sort of aspects of it. But no, this is the one I got. I'm quite pleased with it. It works. And then this is kind of funny. You can see, actually, I'm going to include this shot here. This is a shot my wife took of me coming. She climbed up on over. She was ahead of me on the path, and she turned around and took the shot of me coming back, coming after her on the path across this little gully. And this kind of illustrates sort of the damage of the land and shows you just how scorched and badly burnt it's been. And I say it's about 6 weeks ago since the fire, and nature's coming back. And this was all over the place. I think there was something along the lines of, I think it was about 3,000 or 4,000 acres were damaged. It's a lot of land, you know, to think about just kind of the destruction of that. And I think, you know, the ones in February on the Pennines in Saddleworth and Marsden, they were caused because it was an unusually hot winter's day at the time. At the 27th of February were the first fires in Saddleworth. There was some more in April, started in Oldham. I don't know whether they were deliberate, I'm not sure, but there was about, I think there's 3,000 or 4,000 acres damaged with those fires. Just incredible to think about. And then I was sort of around the 21st of April, I think it was, up in Ilkley, these fires were started deliberately, and it just kind of wrecks your head to think that people are that ridiculously careless with nature and wildlife, and it angers me. It really does annoy me. I wouldn't have got these shots, of course, if that hadn't have happened, but I'd much sooner it not have happened. I think when you, as a photographer, you like to tell stories, you like to capture an image and tell a story at the same time if you can, you know. So this is what I've done with these three images, and I kind of like this kind of, like I said, this solitary shoot coming up out of the ground, and just, you know, the idea that it brings hope with it, of a restart, a rebirth, you know, and all's not lost. But it saddens me to think that there's idiots out there that would actually start fires on any land at all. It's ridiculous. Just don't do it at all. But anyway, there was this shot as well. I'm going to include this because this is funny. I've made a bit of a meme of it. My wife took this shot of me taking a photograph of, I was photographing this fern leaf sticking out of a rock. It's all right. It's not the best shot in the world, but I quite like it, so I've included it in this video just to show you. But this is kind of me, you know. I spend a lot of time with my family and have a great fun out in the wilderness. But I am a photographer and I love taking photographs, and there are times I'll rush off and find something to photograph, even when I'm out with the family. And this image made me laugh. So this image my wife took when my daughter and our friends were getting their photograph taken. There's me sat in the background, making a composition of something that I've seen of interest. Just made me laugh. And this is the shot. This is a shot of the fern leaf that I was framing up at the time. That's kind of what I do. So hey, but yes. Anyway, it was great to be up on Ilkley Moor. It's somewhere where I've gone numerous times. It's a beautiful place. Families go there, all sorts of walkers and cyclists, and lots of different people use it. So to think that somebody would go and make that destruction and put people's lives at risk, you know, the local people that live there, I'm sure we're getting a bit worried that their homes were at risk, and you know, and the people that have to go and deal with it, putting their lives at risk, trying to put these things out. It's just it beggars belief that these things would be started deliberately. It just really fills me with a lot of anger. It's not good at all. You know, when you're a landscape photographer and you're out in the wilderness a lot, you find a deep. I find it with me. I have a deep-rooted passion and love and adoration for this planet and how beautiful it is. And I seek out how beautiful it is. I want to find those beautiful images and those beautiful places to sort of capture and record. And as a photographer, certainly a landscape photographer, you look at the land with such a critical eye. You're looking for great compositions. You scan it and take it in and live it and breathe it and really feel it. You know, and I suppose when you come across something like this it's been damaged in such a mindless way, it saddens you. It really, really saddens you. Shouldn't happen, but it did, and unfortunately does. So these images that I'm presented in this video is just a conversation of the happier side of that ridiculous event. You know, the fact that nature will find its way back, that it will rebirth, it will regroup, and you know, you won't keep it down for long, and rightly so. It's that's one of the amazing things about nature. It will come back with a vengeance and present itself in all its glory again for us to enjoy and look after. Absolutely. So thank you for stopping by. Thank you for spending some time listening to this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed the images and my little story about my journey up to Ilkley Moor. I hope you've enjoyed these photos. I certainly enjoyed being out there. I certainly enjoy capturing different things. I like to sort of tell a story about kind of what I see and what I experience with my photography. I hope you drop by again, and definitely subscribe. Hit subscribe and hit the bell if you want to sort of get updates from when I post more videos. And please do drop by again. It'd be good to see you. Thanks for listening to me waffle on. There'll be more videos coming soon. So take care, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye for now.